Last week at Daytona International Speedway, we saw the 5-year wait for the return of the Krispy Kreme National Series, and it was an interesting one to say the least, but Anthony Hernandez got the win in dramatic fashion. Here today we are finally kicking off the regular part of the season with Atlanta Motor Speedway here for race 2 of 24 for the 2025 Krispy Kreme National Series. This is the John Deere 250 at Atlanta. What's up, everyone? It's the boy on the Racing 97, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and welcome to race number 2 of the Krispy Kreme National Series. And this one is going to be a wild one, to say the least. Multi-group racing, a pit stop is on the cards, but the interesting thing is that this is one of the shorter mile-and-a-half races of the season. Most of the mile-and-a-half races will be 50 laps. Today is only 40. We got Matthew Hubert back up here in the booth, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Last week was definitely an interesting one. It isn't the typical pack racing we usually see in these events, and results in Holly getting that jump start on the rest of the field. Hernandez winning the race, Eric Conga finished third. They're starting further back in the field for this one, so it's going to be a good opportunity for guys such as Eli Green and Jr. for Reggie Colton Jr. And our underdog there, Alexander and our guys like that. It's going to be interesting to see how this race will progress.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it's going to be very interesting on what ends up happening. Like the dwellers, like you mentioned, Hernandez, and Hernandez, and Jericho and Williams. It's going to be interesting on what ends up happening here today, especially with that tire fall. It's going to be very significant here today, and that could play a massive role on who ends up being the race win. Of course, the points, they're kind of tight at the moment after race 1, but it's Anthony Hernandez with a 3-point lead over Alexander Well and Eric Marco. Gavin Bailey is in 4th, -6, same with Angel Gutierrez. 6th is Logan Williams, 8 points behind. 7th is Avery Alford, 7th is Avery Alford, 9 points behind. 8th is Chris Jericho and Ben Watson, 10 points behind. And then rounding out the top 10 is Hallie Anderson Jr., 12 points behind, but it's only race 1, and it will be a little bit until we see possibly some drivers and teams pull away from the field. On the pole here today, we got a Junior Motorsports front row in Reggie Fogelman's team. Roberto Crown Jr. in number 7 is on pole, and then Eli Bright is in 2nd. And then we got the number 24 of Philip Torres and the 31 of Alexander Lowe. The 16, no, that's not the 16, that's 27 of Avery Alford, and the 44 of Logan Williams. And then we got Juan Garcia and Caleb Rose. And then right at the top 10 is William Ayers in the number 45 and Chris Barnes in the number 26. And last week's winner of Anthony Hernandez starts in 23rd here today. 40 laps, about lap 28 for the pit stops if we make it that far. Who is will pit to win the John Deere 250 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway?
This is going to be a bit further back than usual, but Brandon Beal in the 35 has shown good pace here at Daytona. I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow finds his way back up to the era.
Yeah, not bad pit. Beal starts a little bit of a way back, just outside the top 10. Another good qualifying effort for that number 35 machine. And we'll see how that works out for Jay Randall and Joey Gates Motorsports here today. And we'll see if Roberto Crown Jr. can finally get that first win on the channel, or if one of his teammates will end up stealing the win from him. And we'll see what happens. 40 laps on tap. Gonna be a short race for these guys, and this is where the real season begins. And just in a few short months after race 18, someone will be the regular season champion, and we will find out who will get into the season 3 Krispy Kreme National Series chase. Rolling through 3 and 4, everyone is rolling off. And it will be Roberto Crown Jr. and Eli Bright. 2 Dream Sports cars on the front row. And we are kicking off the Atlanta weekend with the Krispy Kreme National Series. We are green flag racing for the John Deere 250 at Atlanta. Great start from Roberto Crown Jr. Won the pole and gonna lead lap number 1 here in the John Deere 250. A rifle to the inside of Eli Bright. Ramirez to the inside of the number 9 machine of Juan Garcia, and we're gonna see this all weekend long. This racetrack is multi-group racing, and in theory all 3 lanes can work, and here comes Phil Torres almost to the inside for the race lead.
Great start there for Roberto Crown Jr. As you said, looking for their first win on this channel. It's definitely going to be interesting to see if he can hold off these guys behind him. Philip Torres is in second. New to the channel, but not new to NR2003. It's going to be interesting to see how long it will take for these guys to catch up.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, you saw in the background that unfortunately Matthew Burnett hit the outside wall. That's something that we might see, especially on these fresh tires. If you go out too out of the groove, you will lose all the momentum and speed. Great start from Crown Jr., but here comes Phil Torres on the inside. Gonna slide up the racetrack, and that's gonna allow Eli Bright to make it 3 wide for the race lead. Every effort got into the outside wall. And now here comes Eric Monaco in number 97 for College Racing. Beltran, that third lane, he's gonna slide up. He's gonna slide way more than I expected. But side by side for the race lead is Crown Jr. and Philip Torres.
Yeah, as you can see here, the top 3 pulling away a bit from the rest of the pack, almost like the Cup Series finale here. But as we say, Crown Jr. going back into the race lead, and they're still side by side. That's going to allow William Ayers to catch up, and maybe Juan Garcia and Caleb Rose behind him.
Yeah, how about Caleb Rose? Had a decent one at Daytona, didn't qualify well, but I believe got a better finish than really started. And I'm impressed with the speed from Dream Sports. All 4 of them are inside the top 10. Crown Jr. in the lead. Eli Bright. Philip Torres went from the top to the bottom. Try blocking Eli Bright. And it's going to be interesting what ends up happening. It's going to be a significant tire wear here today. And that's definitely going to affect these guys later on in the one around lap 29 or 30. Is when they should pit if we stay green for that point. But already a lot of drivers have washed up the racetrack and gone into the outside wall. And that's something that we normally don't see too often. But it is what it is. William Ayers to the inside. One of the low drivers going for second on Philip Torres. Great stuff on that number 7.
Yeah, as you can see here, the tires aren't too worn out at this point, so it might just be getting the tires up to temperature is my guess. Anyways, William Ayers going to second, trying to get by Crown Jr., but it's gonna be a bit difficult. You don't want to get up too high there, as we see Chris Jericho in the 8 almost hit the outside. But yeah, that's basically Atlanta here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of different lanes that you can run, but if you go too high, or if the car is too tight, then you go into the outside wall. Here comes Juan Garcia to the inside, trying to make it a 1-2 for Dream Motorsports at the time being. Some real good racing up front. Eli Bright might be falling back, might not have a long one car in that number 1 machine. How about Chris Mullins in the number 26 machine? Ben Watson in the number 48 in the midst. Caleb Rose and Abel and Keegan Thompson as well, all made some moves up to the front. Seeing some new faces here on lap number 9, now lap number 10. This is about when the tires will really take into a factor here. And you gotta save his stuff late. 3 wide in the back with a send from Keegan Thompson.
Man, Duncan Ward almost made it 4 wide. Thank goodness he didn't. We almost had an FSO Atlanta move there. But like you mentioned, Keegan, Logan Bang Watson, rather, and Chris Martin's now closing up to the top 10. These guys start way back in the field. And Chris Martin's passing his teammate there, Philip Torres, who was at the lead at one point, and they're almost 3 wide behind for third. Caleb Rose slots into 4th ahead there, Monaco, and Chris Martin slots into 6th.
I'm very impressed with the number 24 and 26, Jack Haas, of course, the team owner of Sam Hunt Racing, and both of the young drivers that are new to the channel are running really strong. And Chris Mullins, I think he might be one of the best long run cars all day. He's going to get the nice 7 L tight into the outside wall a little bit. That's going to allow Unable to get into the mix. Same with Bennett Watson and Logan Williams as well. And meanwhile, up to the front is Oliver Burkhardt Jr. for the time being, with Juan Garcia all over him like a sheep suit. And then Caleb Rose now to the inside of William Ayers for the 3rd position. Great stuff. And it's going to be interesting what ends up happening about halfway through the cycle. Crown Jr. once wide. Garcia is going to get to the inside and side by side for the top spot.
Yeah, good run here for Junior Rose. 1-2 right now, but now the lead is going the way of Juan Garcia. 12 wins on the channel, maybe 13 by the time this video comes out. But anyways, great run here. Crown Junior still holding the top lane, so the tires aren't as degraded there. And Chris Martin's going wide there, still in 5th. And look behind there, Keegan Thompson, Duncan Ward looking into the top 10 now.
Great one from Keegan Thompson, and then number 14. Silver 98 wash up the race track a little bit. Crown Jr. definitely has a strong race car here today, and you have to have a strong car if you want to whip that second lane on over the tires here. But Garcia knows what he's doing, and a couple guys went wide off of turn number 2. And that's Unable into the outside wall, and here comes Caleb Rose in the number 38. Last time he was here at Atlanta, he won the season 5 JBL Cup Series Championship as a owner and as a driver for both the drivers and the owner's titles. And he might make it 3 wide for the race lead here.
Yeah, good run here. Caleb Rose, he knows what he's doing here. Gotta go 3 wide. Chris Martin's almost made it 4 wide there. Unfortunately, that's gonna put Ayers into the outside wall. And very aggressive here for lap 16. And now Chris Martins is now looking to the race lead. That's gonna allow both Bay Watson and Logan Williams to catch up.
Very aggressive racing and very competitive racing. Rose to the lead. Chris Mullins is in the midst, and how about Bennett Watson out nowhere in that number 48 machine? And William Ayers and Logan Williams in the midst. We basically have a 7-car breakaway. Keegan Thompson, Duncan Ward, Eric Monaco, Eli Bright, and all these guys behind, just outside the top 10 at Lopez as well. And unfortunately, some of these guys in the back, like Beal, Mendoza, Jordan Stout, Burnett, Davenport, Rowe, and several others are not having a good start to this one here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Chris Mullins trying to take second away from Juan Garcia, and we are about 10 laps away, give or take 4 pit stops here in this one. That's going to be a big difference for the first time of the season for these pit crews. Watson slides up and 3 wide, as Watson's going to be in a Alpha Prime sandwich.
Well, now that you said, I'm interested to see if the pit crew has to repair any potential damage from the cars scraping the wall, and especially turns 3 and 2. That might play into a factor here. As see there, Crown Jr. gets squeezed into the wall a little bit, and now Garcia looking to get back on Caleb Rose for the race lead.
But Caleb Rose whipped the outside lane really well, and to the point again for Caleb Rose. Chris Martin's trying the second lane, and already we will be 20 laps down in the John Deere 250 at the line, this time by Watson, looking to the inside of his Cup Series driver of Logan Williams. Garcia's going to maintain second place spot, and now we are really seeing these tires fall off late into this one. Chris Martin's going to try and get back to the inside. Chris Jericho making some moves in that number 8 machine back there. And it's going to be interesting on how this plays out. And the interesting thing is, what will these pit crew really do early on in the season? And what will the strategy be? If the undercut or the overcut?
Now, if I were the driver, I would probably suggest the undercut. In that case, you have the cleaner tires, you have more speed on the short term. But on the other hand, going long term ensures you have more competitive speed towards the latter half of the race. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the strategy plays out.
Oh yeah, definitely. The strategy's gonna ultimately probably win the race for somebody. We saw that last year with John Andrews in the number 34. Did some strategy and stole the win in the John Deere 400 last year. And I'm very impressed with this number 26 of Chris Mullins. Doing a good job trying to take second away from Garcia. But I think right now is kind of where the outside lane is where you want to be. As Logan Williams is side by side with William is. And Chris Mullins is side by side with Garcia. But a great one from Caleb Rose here. Was slowest in qualifying by a long shot at Daytona. Got a decent finish, I believe, still. But a great one for him. And he didn't have a lot of success last year. He was very consistent in the Power Truck Series. And he's looking to get a race win here today at Atlanta.
Yeah, as you can see here. But there's a lot of drivers behind him looking to get wins as well. Chris Martin's relatively new to the channel. Same with Duncan Ford in that pack there. And how about Chris Jericho as well? At the tail end of that pack, we mentioned a lot about Crown Jr. and Juan Garcia. We haven't really seen much of Chris Jericho this race. It's interesting to see how he'll play out at the end of this race.
Oh yeah, all the Dream Sports cars have had speed. Chris Jericho seems to have a long one car. Eli Bright has absolutely disappeared outside of the top 10 back there. I don't think he has a long one car. And meanwhile, I think the Alpha Prime cars might be on something. Duncan Wood moves crunching up the racetrack in 3 and 4. And now here we go. Chris Mullins might go for the race lead here in the number 26. How about this one for Jack Haas's St. Juan Racing?
Now, this would be really surprising there. Jack Haas knows how to do ratings, but this is a bit of a surprise. Chris Martin's not really known for doing Queen Series, and it's really interesting to see him go up against one of the big dogs, as I can say, of NR now, Caleb Rose, and that's going to allow Garcia to possibly catch up to him as, oh boy, here go 3 wide here, or I believe that's 5th.
Got 3 wide for 5th, Crown Jr., Watson, and Logan Williams. And a great one from Watson. We might have to watch out for that 48 after pit stops, depending on what they can do. And speaking of pit stops, here we go. Virginia Motorsports calls it in first. That was close between Rose and Garcia. Being a lap sooner than I expected, lap 27. Rose, Garcia, Crown Jr. are all on pit road. And it looks like they are the only 3 to pit on lap 27.
Now, be a bit risky to pit this early, depending on if we do have a caution, depending on how they enter pit road. As we see here, Rose is getting service on 4 tires, and infamous for having issues with his picker in the Wallow Cup Series especially, doesn't seem to be too bad as we see the second group of drivers going down pit road.
Looks like it is going to be a two-tire strategy for at least the first three that came down. We'll see about some of these guys in the second group. Watson, 2 tires. Jordan Stout, 2 tires. And I think that is the way to go here. Maybe someone tries fuel only and gambles. Maybe someone tries to take 4 tires. But I think 2 tires is the universal strategy here. As Logan Williams led that last lap, so he's going to get a bonus point towards the championship. And everybody else is on pit road on lap number 29. Caleb Bowles has a big lead over Crown Jr. and Juan Garcia. And we'll see if how everything cycles out. Logan Williams is already going to be off of pit road. And it's going to be close on who ends up cycling out as the race leader. With only 11 laps to go, 10 once this all cycles out. And a good pit stop right there from Logan Williams, Chris Jericho, Nick Lopez. And let's see here. I saw the race leader back here of Caleb Bowles. He's up to full speed. Meanwhile, some of these guys are not. And it's going to be close. It's going to be Logan Williams for the time being, barely as the race leader.
And this is interesting because I don't see any of the teams repair damage. Guess it's not too severe enough at this point. But great strategy there for Logan Williams, trying to get redemption for what happened last year in the Truist 400.
And unfortunately, Duncan Ward, he had to go back down pit road for a tire. So they changed the tires on that car and it blew. So a tough break for Duncan Ward in the number 5. With 9 laps to go, is Caleb Bowles and Logan Williams the top 2. Chris Mullins in 3rd. William Ayers in 4th. Ben Watson inside the top 5. And then we got 3 Dream Motorsports cars in 6th, 7th, and 8th of Juan Garcia, Chris Jericho, and Roberto Crown Jr. Great one from Keegan Thompson in 9th, and that was a close call for Nick Lopez and Angel Gutierrez off turn number 2. And we did Felicity Mendoza come from in the number 29 out inside the top 10.
Yeah, Felicity Mendoza wasn't. He was outside the top 20 at one point, and great strategy on there from 29, getting themselves up into the 10th position, showing that the RSS racing cars has some potential here, especially with Caleb Rose up front. But it has to do a lot to hold off Logan Williams for the next 8 laps.
And here we go, Logan Williams side by side with Caleb Bowles. Logan Williams has been on a tear when it comes to the JBL Cup Series the last 2 seasons. And he has arrived in the Krispy Kreme National Series side by side with Caleb Bowles, but Bowles with a good one on the outside lane. He's gonna keep it. It's interesting on how this is gonna shake out. Basically, everybody's on 2 tires, or 2 old tires and 2 fresh tires, both with a bad one off turn 4. Logan Williams with a good one once again. He's going to try and make this move in 1 and 2. But this is more of the high side lane. But Rose gets pushed up the race track by Logan Williams side by side. They're doing 4. And this is where it's a little bit more on the inside lane. And Logan Williams is going to send it. Rose is going to send it up top still side by side. 5 laps to go in the John Deere 250.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this race plays out. The right side tires are fresh, the left sides are not. So it's gonna make for an interesting race to see how this will play out. Chris Martins is 3rd, but 1 second behind them. And another 3 tenths back is Ben Watson and William Ayers. So unless something happens here, it looks like it's going to be Caleb Rose and Logan Williams for this race.
And honestly, the way that Logan Williams is running the bottom and the way that Caleb Williams is running up top, they could stay side by side for the next 4 laps and we could get a classic Atlanta finish and go side by side for the race to win. Side by side for the 4th position back there of William Ayers and Brandon Watson. And now Logan Williams, I think, is going to get clear finally of Caleb Williams' new leader officially of Logan Williams in the number 44 machine. And William Ayers got past the number 48 as well. And a gaggle of cars back here with Mendoza, Gutierrez, Philip Torres, and Nick Lopez all involved in the top 10 battle. And we'll see if Caleb Williams can catch up to Logan Williams, but Logan Williams is already starting to pull away just slightly in the number 44. 2 laps to go at the line in the John Deere 250.
It took him a while to do it, but Logan Williams on the bottom side was able to work his way past Caleb Rose. The fresher tires look like they're going into effect, and as I say that, he almost hit the outside wall. Great job he avoided that. Caleb Rose is going to close in, and Chris Martins almost looked like he was going to close in a bit, but not really, as we go to the white flag here, sponsored by Powerade.
Here we go, the Powerade, 1 to go. It's going to be close to, if Logan Williams makes another mistake and 1 and 2 again, Caleb Williams might close in. He goes a little bit wide, but not as bad as last time. And this is just what happens when these guys are on 40-lap old left side tires for the most part. But fantastic racing all day long. Caleb Williams is trying to make a last-second charge, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to be close, but Logan Williams is going to win the John Deere 250.
It's well done there from Logan Williams. 3rd inside the top 10. Got the race win. It's down to strategy, and he was up front pretty much the entire race. Double top 5 there for Alpha Prime Racing, William Ayers in 4th.
A great one from Little Team right there. A great one from Rose right there. Almost closed in late with a great 1 through 3 and 4. Kind of like what his team driver of Josh Remsen did last year to almost steal the race win from Logan Williams. And Logan Williams has won 2 races in a row here at Atlanta. He won the JBL 500 to end the Scene 5 of the Cup Series last year. And now he wins the first Atlanta race for the Krispy Kreme National Series here today. And a close motion, a caution-free race once again. Well, not once again, because they kind of did have a caution, but a nice caution-free race here at Atlanta. But definitely showed a lot of multi-groove racing. A couple of guys got into that outside wall, oddly enough, but Logan Williams with the win. Caleb Rose in 2nd, Chris Mullins with a great one in 3rd, William Ayers in 4th, Benny Watson in 5th, Chris Shergo in 6th, Juan Garcia in 7th, Roberto Clown Jr. in 8th, Keegan Thompson in 9th, and Philip Torres rounds out the top 10 here today. There's the rest of the finishing order, and unfortunately some tough racing in the back by Alexander O'Brien and Beal all the way back on 34th, Giacomo, Minnick, Perry, Burnett, Amari Jr., Anson Jr., Davenport, and others all in the deep part of the field. And then of course Duncan Ward, he had a tire go down right after the pit stops, and he had to go back down to fix that tire issue. So a fun race here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. What's the final thoughts, and what are you looking forward to for the John Deere 400 here tomorrow as a driver?
Well, for one, it's interesting to see that the first group pulls away a bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in the Cup race there. And one thing to note, that GR Motorsports has 3 cars in the top 10, named Watson's 5th, and Caleb Rose there. So those teams there, RSS Racing, Alpha Prime, GR Motorsports there, are some of the teams to watch out for, especially with Olive Racing not having the best runs, but still, it's only the 2nd race of this season.
got definitely a lot of parity here today with all the teams. We got Alpha Prime, we got RSS, Sam Hunt, Big Machine, a bunch of Dreamo Sports, SS Greenlight with Keegan Thompson, and then the second Sam Hunt racing car of Philip Torres in 10th. It'll be interesting of who ends up leaving here as the point leader. It might be, I believe, Logan Williams getting the win, and he was 16 points, so I believe it will be Logan Williams being the point leader going into Phoenix in a couple of weeks' time. Next week will be the first off week of the Krispy Kreme National Series as the Cup Series goes to Willow Springs. Thanks for Matthew Hubert for joining me up here in the booth once again for this one. Congratulations to Logan Williams on a clutch win late with some strategy to win the John Deere 250. And tomorrow, we are right back here again at Atlanta for the John Deere 400. Once again, congratulations to Logan Williams, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks' time for the first short track race of the season at Phoenix Raceway.